Hey, it's Kate Brewster, founder of Brewster Consulting Group, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can actually use AI in your business, right? Why am I talking about this? Well, we're starting a seven-part video series today. This is kind of the introduction to our AI maturity model, and we're tackling this subject because everyone everywhere pretty much agrees that over the next 10 years, the way that we do business is going to be fundamentally changed by AI. But the thing that people are often wrestling with is for the CLO, for the business leader, for the manager, for the operator in day-to-day business, what does that actually mean tactically in your life today? How do you start to incorporate AI into what you're doing every day, right? And so we internally have been wrestling with that question as well, not only for ourselves, but also how do we talk to clients? How do we talk to companies about this? How do we conceptualize it and put a framework to it in a way that will create a logical roadmap that organizations can use to actually mature into effective AI usage inside of their business? And out of that, we've created what we're calling an AI maturity model, right? So I'm going to be sharing today in the first video of our video series some overview, some initial thoughts, and then an overview of our AI maturity framework. And then we'll come back with each of the following videos and do a deep dive into specific portions of the AI maturity model. So let me start today by highlighting just some high level concepts, right? So when you're talking about organizational maturity for AI integration, you have to consider kind of four pillars: people, process, technology, and culture. Don't forget the culture, right? Because even if the people, processes, and technology are in a good place to adopt AI, you have to bring the culture along to a place where your employees are going to be accepting of these ideas and these concepts, right? And so from an execution perspective, the way that we think about it is first an evaluation phase. Assess your current functions and processes for their operational maturity and their AI readiness. From there, using our AI maturity model, which we'll talk about in a moment, you can advance them up to a level 4 and build a foundation for initiating AI education and ad hoc usage of AI applications. From there, there is a data preparation phase, right? Most people kind of think, oh, hey, you can just start doing AI, right? You just decide to do it and then you use it, and it's great. But in reality, is in some ad hoc instances, that's true. But for enterprise level application, you have to have a data architecture and a data structure that supports training and effectively integrating AI into your organizational environment. And then once you have that in place, then you can go into the evolution. How do we then start to open up the application of larger enterprise level activities using AI, right? So there's one other thing that I want to kind of ground everybody in before I move on to the actual AI maturity model itself, and that's core business functions for all businesses. If you're watching this, you're a part of a business, you're curious about how you guys can use AI. There might be some things you guys do that aren't on this graphic right here, depending on the industry. But pretty much every business everywhere does the things on this screen, right? There might be a few small exceptions in that to that, but probably not very many. And we think about this from left to right, top down, in order of importance. First, you have to have your strategy, your vision, your mission for the organization, how you're going to position yourself in the marketplace, what is your product and service, how do you develop that, right? Once you have that, you have sales, customer onboarding, fulfillment, customer offboarding. If you can't get the sales piece right, if you can't get this piece right, none of the rest of it matters, right? You have to be able to bring business and dollars and cents in the door so that you can grow and develop. Once you get that right, though, then you have to manage your customers effectively. You want retention, you want upselling and cross selling, right? You also have to be able to manage your people correctly, the HR functions. You got to bring talent in, you got to retain them, you got to onboard them, you want to measure their performance. And when they leave, you got to offboard them effectively and hire somebody else, right? And then you have the finance elements, invoicing, how do you get paid, your financial statements, budgeting, all of those things really become impactful as you grow, right? You'll notice IT isn't on this list. That's because while IT is a core function of every business, it is not in and of itself a function. The purpose of IT is technology enablement in all of these other areas, right? IT exists unless you're like a technology product or something where it is a core part of your actual the thing that you sell. But in most businesses, IT is about enabling all of these things on the screen through the use of technology, right? And so that's why we have it highlighted like this over on the right side of the screen, right? So I want you to think about this framework of conceptualizing business functions as we go on to the actual AI maturity model, right? So this is the actual AI maturity model, an adoption framework for AI inside of your organization. Today, I'm just going to give you a high level overview of it. And then in subsequent videos, we're going to dive into specific target areas and really do a more in depth dive, right? But a couple of things that you'll notice. There's a lot of information on the screen, so I'm going to break it down for you. Inside of each level, there are 8 levels going from bottom to the top. There are 3 colored boxes, one representing operational maturity, the middle one representing AI capabilities, and the one on the right representing AI use cases. So the operational maturity boxes are meant to indicate how mature are we in our business operations, what should we have done or what should we have in place at this level of operational maturity. The middle one is saying at this general level of operational maturity, here are the AI capabilities that might be available to you. This is not an exhaustive list. These are examples of the types of things relative to your operational maturity that make sense in this area. And then on the right, AI use cases. This is how at this operational maturity level we can actually start to integrate AI into our business. So if you understand those 3 boxes, you start to understand how this model brings everything together. It's saying you've got to advance in operational maturity to pave the way to take advantage of AI capabilities. And then these are the use cases through which you can actually integrate those AI capabilities, right? You'll also notice the brackets on the left side. We have this model broken down in general into 5 groupings. The first 4 levels are all about a foundation, right? This is about advancing your operational maturity to a baseline using some ad hoc AI use cases, educating and advancing the culture that you have around AI. Level 5 is about AI data preparation. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but that's about building a data architecture that supports more enterprise-wide integration of AI into your business. That's the level where you start to require a significant investment into what you're doing in order to start to integrate AI. And then from there, you build into automation via AI vendor replacement, and then eventually an AI workforce, autonomous agents that can actually execute on your behalf. You cannot skip straight to autonomous AI agents, except for on a few ad hoc use cases, without having the data architecture to support them, right? That's why the model is built in this way. You have to mature and grow in to some of these more advanced use cases. That's why we set it up this way. I know this is a ton of information. I hope it's useful to you. If it is, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave any comments that you have. So here is what's going to happen next, right? We're going to have additional series of videos. Video 2 is going to be a breakdown of the AI foundation. Video 3 is going to be a breakdown of AI data preparation. Video 4 is going to be a breakdown of automation via AI. Video 5, vendor replacement. Video 6, AI workforce. And then video 7 is going to come back and bring it all together. That's going to be our video series that will come out in the coming days. Again, I hope you really get some value in this. Don't hesitate to reach out and chat with us. If you have any questions, leave comments on the video. If you're watching it on YouTube, like I said, like or subscribe. If you're getting it on LinkedIn or through our newsletter or wherever, just go wherever you engage with our content and don't hesitate to engage. This is a really fascinating topic that's happening for all of us right now, and it's going to fundamentally change how we do a lot of things in the workplace over the next 5, 10, 15 years. So it's also very important for all of our futures and how our businesses grow to start to unpack this. So appreciate y'all, and we'll talk next time.